Okay, hello everybody, and welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about what makes a good Call of Duty game, just sort of similar to what I did, kind of like what I did the other day with my Advanced Warfare video, but I just kind of only briefly covered some things. This is going to be more general. So I think the most important thing for a good Call of Duty game is a good multiplayer. Because, I mean, multiplayer is really what we're going to be spending most of our time on. And it's, not that the other parts aren't important, but multiplayer is really what, that's the most important part. I think most people would agree. So what makes a good multiplayer? As you probably know, my favorite, if you watch my Advanced Warfare video, my favorite Call of Duty ever is Black Ops 2, which you're seeing right now. It's probably my favorite video game ever. So I'm going to quickly run through these things that I thought of that make a good multiplayer experience here. So, first thing I said was good weapon balance. And keep in mind, these aren't in like any order of like importance. It's just kind of things I thought of. So, weapon balance, it's important to have weapons that, a lot of different viable weapons. A system where sniping can be a viable choice, SMGs can be useful, or assault rifles, or even shotguns. So, basically, you want to have good weapon balance, and that kind of goes in with the maps. You don't want maps that are you don't want maps that lend themselves toward one particular style of play. Now obviously there's going to be certain maps that are better for sniping, certain maps that are better for using, SMGs or whatever, but you want, for the most part, you want players to be able to use the weapons that they, want to use. So don't force them through maps to use certain weapons. The other thing I have is good, fun streaks. And I think it's important to have multiple streaks of the same or similar level. So you have options. I think it's important to have fun streaks. Like Black Ops 2, it has a lot of fun streaks. It has like the, some of the higher ones are really fun, like the K9 unit or the Swarm or, Lodestar or the VSAT's a lot of fun. You can see where everyone is. There's just a lot of fun streaks in this game, and I think that's important. And I think score streaks, having them are obviously better, but so another thing I was good game modes. You don't want which is not really ever an issue, but obviously you want to have game modes that are fun to play. Black Ops 2 has a lot. My favorites probably, I like Team Deathmatch, Kill Confirmed. I like Domination. I think the party games that Black Ops 2 had, I think that was a really nice addition, because it's just sort of a nice little break. Just to sort of have fun and mess around. That's something I wish Ghosts maybe did a little bit better, but another thing I think is important is fun camos. Um, and that might sound kind of not all that important, and it's not really important especially for more so for some people. But I feel like it's important. I think Black Ops 2, when they added in the whole diamond camo thing, I think that was brilliant because it just makes the game so much more interesting. It's like you constantly have something to work toward. You know, like I'm still trying to get diamond camos for some guns, and some classes of guns, and I just think that was a really brilliant idea, and obviously gold camo is always fun. Another thing I have is good perks and good attachments. There's usually, you want to have a variety of perks and a variety of attachments that are useful, and I think I think Black Ops 2 again did a great job with their pick 10 system, in which you can pick any 10 of anything, so you can sacrifice attachment for a perk, or you can sacrifice a secondary weapon for another attachment on your primary weapon. It's just, there's so many options. And that's another thing I have written down is just options. Just options to do what you want, to customize your characters, to which that's something I think Ghost did a better job. They have a lot of different character customization packs, which I personally don't care too much about how my character looks, but it's still good to have in the game. And another thing to have that I just kind of thought of are good spawns. You really don't want spawns that are terrible, and I'm sorry here, I think I was like answering a phone call or something, but so you really don't want bad spawns. You don't want, spawning right in front of somebody or whatnot. So that's the first thing into a good Call of Duty game, a good multiplayer. The next part of having a successful Call of Duty game is having a good, fun third game mode, that's what I would call it. Meaning, so you have your campaign, you have your multiplayer, and then you have your third game mode, which is zombies. And for the last, World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, all had zombies as the third game mode. And I think zombies is about the best thing ever. I'm a huge zombies fan. I think zombies might be my favorite game of all time, because there's just so many ways to strategize, so many different weapons, so many different fun maps. It's just awesome. As you can see here, I'm just camping with the hammer whilst there in trains down there, and it's just there's just so many different ways to do this, and I just think Zombies was such a great game. There's not a lot to talk about really as to why. I just personally love it. There's infinite rounds, so you can always, the replay value is ridiculous because you can always constantly try to get to a higher round. You can play it with friends, so you can get to higher rounds with your friends, higher rounds playing solo. It's just an all-around great time, and some of the interesting weapons they add is just so good. And you know, another good third game mode is Modern Warfare 3 Survival. At least in my opinion, I know some people don't like it, and it's not as good as Zombies for sure, but it's still a very, very, very good game that I love, and I think they did a lot of things right with that one as well. You know, there's just so many fun things on both third game modes. Like on Survival, similar thing. You know, there's a lot of there's a lot of maps and a lot of different strategies you can use, and a lot of different equipment on that game. That game's more about the equipment, I would say, more so than the strategy. You're probably just going to be sitting in some house. But I just think both games were so much fun. And I wasn't really a big fan of Extinction because it was just sort of, I didn't feel like there was many ways to strategize. I mean, you're not going to be training those things. Or, I mean, it's just, I didn't give it much of a chance, honestly, but I just didn't like it that much. And, so yeah, and the last thing to mention is a good, solid campaign. Which I don't have any gameplay of, but campaigns are just a lot of fun, certain campaigns, and I think good campaigns they're fun, and they're a good length, they're not too long, not too short, they don't get tedious, missions are good variety, and I think it's also very important for a campaign to have a good story. If it's just kind of a story that you don't really care about what happens to the characters or anything, that's just kind of not very good. If it has like an engaging story, then it's going to be much better. So yeah, this has been my, unfortunately it went down there, but this has been my what makes a good Call of Duty. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.